Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is our 2026 Philadelphia Phillies team preview and prediction episode. It is Sunday, March 15th. We're live in person for WBC action this weekend. Quarterfinals last night, DR versus USA semifinal one tonight. But today we are talking Philadelphia Phillies.
Who you got tonight? You got the Dominicans. Oh, I know this is after, but you got the Dominicans of Platino Power, or you got the U.S. military team tonight?
I think Skeens is a huge advantage over Severino, so I'm going with Team USA. I think the bullpen's a little bit better. It's going to be a home environment for Team DR, obviously. It should be a lot of fun. I'll go with the boys. I'm repping this shirt today, so
I'm pretty tired today, boys. Cannot lie, boys and girls, for our female listeners that do listen to this podcast. It is 12:40. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. It was a rough one last night. Japan caught that L. As Ronald Acuna say, they had sushi last night.
That was crazy.
Hibachi. I honestly, that was a crazy game.
Crazy quote, crazy game. Yeah, I mean, it started late as hell. 9 p.m. Eastern start.
Shout out to the Japanese fans. This is my first also interaction with Japanese fans, and they're quite knowledgeable and very nice, very welcoming. They flew out. A lot of them flew out from Japan, which actually I was very surprised to do. It is a trek from the other side of the world, and they cheered their team on. And I mean, we'll talk more about that in our WBC recap video. But today we're on the Philadelphia Phillies, man. Talk about a team that is aging, man. They're nearing AARP status in the major league level. To some people, we call them the Yankees of the NL. But to some people, there's still high expectations. To me, I'm tempering those expectations off what I've seen in spring training and most recently of this team in the past couple months. Not many improvements that have happened. You see Trey Turner at short still. Schwarber got re-signed to that mega deal, and he's going to be DHing. Behind him, you'll have Bryce Harper. Alec Boehm survives another offseason on the team. Seems like every single offseason they're trying to get rid of him. Phillies fans are just trying to boot him out to the curb. Still the designated survivor, as they would say. Brandon Marsh in left. Adolis García replaces Nick Castellanos at right, which I know you'll talk about the Nick Castellanos, that athletic survey that they did, article that they did earlier with MLB players. Bryson Stott at second. JT Realmuto is back at catching, which we'll talk about how awkward things could be with Realmuto. And then right now, penciled in at center field, Justin Crawford, son of Carl Crawford. I know you're very familiar with Carl Crawford with his days with the Tampa Rays, also with the LA Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox. Pitching, Christopher Sanchez leads the way to start the year. Jesús Luzardo just got that massive extension this week. Congrats to him.
Yep.
Aaron Nola is their number 3 pitcher. Taijuan Walker is 4, who did not pitch from Mexico because of the insurance issues. And then right now, penciled in at the 5th starter is Andrew Painter. Again, Zack Wheeler, he had that thoracic outlet depressant surgery. He'll be back at some point this year.
Should be early. They're saying like April, May.
Yeah, April, May. And then obviously in the bullpen, you have Jhoan Duran and Jose Alvarado. Brad Keller was their big signing from the Cubs. Really pitched well in the Cubs. I know you can speak about him pretty in depth because you've seen a lot of Cubs games, and he pitched for Team USA the other night. So they'll be there. But all in all, I mean, this team has a lot of names. But this isn't about names. This is about production. And I don't know if the names are going to be producing this season.
They're old. It felt like last year the story was this is the last ride for the Phillies, and they kind of are running it back similar to what the Yankees are doing. I think the lineup it's still one of the better lineups in the National League. Trey Turner was, I think, 5th in MVP voting last year. He had a really good season. Missed some time, played like 140 games. He's still only 32, so you would think he should be in his prime. I think he's going to actually have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this year because he was not selected for Team USA. He should be on Team USA over Ernie Clement. I don't even think it's really an argument.
I mean, Ernie Clement is good, man. Don't disrespect.
Did you see Ernie Clement's quote though? He's like, I want to get back to the Blue Jays
Don't
camp.
disrespect the Canadian baseball teams, man. That's a problem. You can't disrespect them.
Yeah, I just think 5 home runs, I think it was last WBC. He should be on the team. Nonetheless, Schwarber, good re-sign. I think it's a bat that's going to age well. the question with him is, can he get to 500 career home runs?
What's he at right now?
He's at 340.
340.
So he needs 160 over the next. He's 33 this season.
He'll hit it.
5-year deal.
He's a 40-30 home run guy this season, so he'll definitely be able to hit it. Especially so.
Continuing, like, Harper is the guy I look at, and I think the negative backlash he's gotten from the WBC, his quotes about the Olympics, like, it just feels like people are kind of out on Bryce Harper right now.
The Phillies are due for a regression. Yeah, I'm sad enough to tell you boys and girls that the Phillies are due for regression. I'm putting up the red flags on Bryce Harper.
Okay.
Last year, his splits were not great. 253, 370, 493, 864 versus righties and versus lefties. 273, 336, 478, 815. So he hit the ball. He got on base and hit the ball further. Got more extra base hits against righties at a lesser clip, but with lefties he hit at a higher clip, but less power and less total bases and getting on base. The home and away splits were crazy. He played 64 games at home, 68 games away. He hit 233 away, 325 OBP, 435 slug, 760 OPS. In comparison to home, he hit the ball 293, 393, 547, and 941. That is a stark drop-off. And then when you look at the first and second half splits, they're virtually identical. 261 in the first half, 262 in the second half batting average. OBP dropped from 374 to 338. Slug went up from 451 to 524, which is okay. But when you look at what happened in 2024, this has been going on. We already have 3 bad halves of production in the sense. In the first half of 2024, he hit 301. In the second half, he fell down to 266. 301, 403, 579, and 983. And in the second half of 2024, he went 266, 333, 460 in slug, 793 in OPS. So the drop has been coming, and it's something we've been seeing for the past 3 halves of the major league seasons.
And I mean, if you want to talk about it even more, when he won the MVP back in 2021, he wasn't even an all-star that season. He just went absolutely insane in the second half with an 1189 OPS. He was injured last year. I think you have to caveat that. He had that, I think it was like wrist hand area.
Yeah.
And he's only 33 this season. So I think if it's a make or break season. Like if it doesn't happen this year for Harper, I'm concerned about the last however many years of the contract. He can obviously turn it around. Like there is still room for him to turn this thing around. And this team kind of goes as he goes, I think. This team was not that far off last season. That game against in the DS, I think it was game 1 that was a really close one that they lost. And then the last game where Kerkering chunked it over
home plate.
Realmuto. Still, I'm sure Phillies fans still have some trauma from that one. That was a closer series than I think people remember. Now, of course, the question is, Donovan Shalbasai just scored an absolute beauty of a free kick. We're watching the Liverpool game on the background. What do you get from Wheeler coming off this surgery, which a lot of people have said, like, this is a very serious surgery. It hurts a lot of people's careers.
Well, my biggest thing is I'm not concerned about the pitching staff. I think the pitching staff is solid. I think the pitching staff ranks to be one of the better ones in the NL.
It's deeper.
It's deep. I want to say deeper because you lose Ranger. You
do.
lose Ranger. You don't have Zack Wheeler, but you still have enough quality in Christopher Sanchez and Luzardo. If Luzardo can keep that consistency from what he brought over from Miami, and Nola can be solid.
Nola was terrible last year, but he looked really good in that start for the Italians in the WBC. I think he's slated to start in the semis, so we'll see. But yeah, Luzardo, 5-year, $135 million extension, locking him up through 2031 with a club option for 2032. He set career highs in innings, strikeouts, and WAR in 2025, and he did finish 7th at NL Cy Young voting. Had a 2.39 1.5 ERA and 7 2/3 in the postseason. So he's a really good number 2 or 3. Like if you get Wheeler healthy, and this has been the story with the Phillies, like if that top 3 is healthy heading into the playoffs, I'd put that up against most rotations in the league. Just feels like something's always off with this team heading into the playoffs.
The problem is that the NL rotations are probably the best, some of the better rotations in baseball.
Yeah, I think
they're not better. They're not better than the Dodgers rotation.
I think fully healthy Wheeler, Sanchez, and Luzardo is comparable to what the Dodgers have in Yamamoto, Snell,
I completely
Ohtani,
disagree.
Glasnow.
I just think that's just on a whole different stratosphere.
You have a Cy Young candidate in Wheeler, a Cy Young candidate in Sanchez, and a Cy Young down ballot candidate in Luzardo.
I think the Cubs rotation is closer to
No way.
Yes way.
What?
Yes. I think Christopher Sanchez is great, and I think Luzardo is good, but just no consistency from Luzardo and Nola, and we don't know what's going to happen with freaking Wheeler.
We don't know what's going to happen to
So, and like the Cubs, what do they have? We have Justin Steele, Matt Boyd.
coming off Tommy John.
And then
Matt
Shohei
Boyd's
Managa.
okay. Gave up like the 3rd most home runs in baseball
That's
last year.
Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo was a freaking pinata at points in the season.
I think
Trust me, I had him in fantasy. He was either electric, and then he had that stretch. I just don't think we should overrate the team. I think the rotation's great. Christopher Sanchez is a top 10 pitcher in the NL, but I just,
He had a bad July, 5.26 ERA, Luzardo.
Oh, exactly.
And a bad June. That's probably when you had him in fantasy, 5.40.
I picked him up early. I had him, so I had him and Sanchez. I had the whole Phillies rotation damn near last season. But my whole case in point is, look, I'm not concerned about the pitching. What I'm most concerned is about the lineup with Harper. I'm also concerned, like, what did they do to get better, really? They really didn't do anything.
Got Nick Castellanos the hell out of that locker room.
But okay, he's out of the locker room, but is Adolis García that big of an improvement? I mean,
Castellanos was one of the worst defensive right fielders last year.
Defensive, but at the plate, it's
Terrible last year.
Castellanos had a better batting average, OBP, slug, and OPS, and
I think Adolis
more hits. And the only homers that Adolis had 2 more homers and 3 more RBIs.
That's last year.
Yes, that I know. It is just marginally better. Yes.
Have you read the story, like the stuff out there about Castellanos? It was voted the best subtraction this offseason by the Athletic surveying players. He was pissed off with Rob Thompson. They were beefing in the media all season. And then I guess it came to a head in Miami, and I can't remember the exact situation, but he wasn't in the lineup, or he got pulled early.
He got pulled, and then he went and popped open. I think it was a Presidente,
yeah.
In the clubhouse. And I'm just saying, people want to act like, yes, it's a big a subtraction by addition, or addition by subtraction. Like, it's big, but if Nick Castellanos is one of your main pieces in 2025, 2026, like, your team has a clear issue.
Yeah, that's fair. But he's gone now.
I know he's gone, but it's just like this team, did they get better?
We also have the weird beef with Bryce Harper and Dave Dombrowski, where Dombrowski said he's not elite anymore.
Did this team get better? I know we have that, but did this team get better?
Did they get better this winter? I don't think they got significantly better.
They did not get better. They let Harrison Bader walk, who y'all know I'm a big Harrison Bader stan.
He was really good for them after that trade, yeah.
It was a really good season. I know they wanted to go younger with Justin Crawford and let the kids run, cool. But when you're a team going for a World Series, like...
Ranger Suarez was a loss.
They lost Jordan Romano was terrible. But my point is, go get better.
No, JT Realmuto back on a 3-year deal. Again, I've said it before. You can't underestimate how valuable he is to the pitching staff, developing those guys, developing the relationships, all that stuff. He's older, not much of a bat anymore. There's that weird dynamic where they were going heavily after Bichette, and they didn't get him. It seemed like they were going to get him, which I would feel a lot different about this Phillies team if they landed Bichette in this winter. And then they miss out on Bichette, and that's when they pivot to Realmuto, who's kind of just waiting there. Don't know if he really had much of a market, but the Phillies kind of made it clear to Realmuto that, hey, we're waiting for Bichette, and then we'll come reopen the conversations with you, Realmuto. I don't think it's going to affect him. True professional, has been in the league for a long time, but just an interesting dynamic there. I know you mentioned that at the top. We'll see what we get with Crawford out in center. I think that's should be a good look defensively. Brandon Marsh, he looks like he's 40. He's only 28.
Well,
I think that takes down my feeling about you as a player.
Yeah, and I mean the big thing
He's
is
got to
that-
shave.
The big thing is that they did improve the bullpen, and the bullpen was such a like it was such so bad. Like I would watch the games, and I met some Phillies fans here, and we would talk about how bad the bullpen, they would blow games, and
20th in ERA last year.
I mean they'll have a full year of Duran, Keller, Bolin, who they acquired from the Kansas City for Matt Strom.
Local product.
And then they got Kyle Backus, and then Zach McCambley. So I feel like the pen should improve, but again, I mean this team is aging. There's a lot of bad smell on this team.
There's a lot, yeah.
It's smelly, my guy. They're right now that 2-3-year-old BMW or Mercedes Benz on the lot that looks really nice, but it's underpriced, under MSRP by $20,000. You're like, man, I want to buy it, but like, what's up?
There's bad vibes.
It's that house in the neighborhood, in the really nice neighborhood, but it's on the market and it's lost a lot of value. And you're like, why is it still on the market? Why is a house in this part of town still on the market?
Man, Phillies fans, so they won in 08, lost in 09 to the Yanks. Then they went on this run in the 2020s where you lose 2022, you lose the World Series to the Astros. 2023, you lose. I can't remember, but they've come up short.
World Series? Oh, they lost to Arizona.
Right, they were up. They were up in that series and then lost. They lost the last two games in Philly, 6 and 7, and they blew it. Yeah. And then so it's 4 straight years here of playoff heartbreak. I'd say the biggest one. I think any Phillies fan, I don't want to speak for them, but I think they would tell you that 23 was the most heartbreaking because they would have won the World Series that year if they didn't blow the last 2 games to the D-backs, because they would have beaten Texas, in my opinion.
Would have beaten Texas 100%.
And then 24, they lose the DS, and then last year they lose the DS again. They lost the DS to the Mets in 24, and then the Dodgers. I mean, it is very Yankees coded here.
And the thing with the Mets, it's like that Mets series that they lost, like the Mets had no business winning. Like everybody was like,
Yeah, no, the Phillies were, I mean, how many wins did they have that season? 95. They won the division.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, they're going for their 3rd straight this year, division title. They won 96 games, 96 and 66. Over under this season is 89.5. Honestly, I'm going to take the hot take here. I'm going to go with the under. I do feel like this team's stench smells. It's still a good team, but I just don't think they're over a 90 win team. I think 89 is a sweet spot, but I just don't think they're that good. And I think they're just kind of overrated in the sense that I've seen some WEC clips and they just don't look good.
Well, Schwarber MVP caliber season last year. He probably won't be that good again. Trey Turner, MVP-ish down ballot caliber season last year. Harper injured, so maybe Harper has a better season. Alec Boehm, like you said, they've been trying to trade him forever.
Zack Wheeler, you forgot.
Zack Wheeler hurt.
No, you forgot Zack Wheeler's Cy Young-esque season last season before he blew.
Sanchez had Cy Young votes last year too. Luzardo did. It does feel like the team is due some regression. So, and we did our Mets preview a couple days ago yesterday. I think the Mets are going to win the division, so I'm taking the under on the Phillies.
We're LGM this season. I'm sorry, Phillies.
I don't know about that.
Well, you're a Yankees fan. I think we're LGM this season. I think we might have to start a whole Mets segment on this podcast. Maybe.
The Mets will be interesting. The Phillies, I'm not super interested in this team because a lot of it is just betting on Harper to bounce back, internal improvement, because there's not much new on the outside, which just because you brought in new stuff doesn't mean it's all going to work out. Like, fans want to retool and rebuild the whole thing every single season. If you actually did that as a GM, you'd be fired in 2 seasons. So,
well, I'm just not a fan this year.
Okay. Both under. I'm not a fan either in terms of my pick. I would be stunned if they're not in the playoffs. I'll say that.
I can see a world that they miss the playoffs.
Okay.
I could see it in a world where we see one of those jinky years that the Central just takes 2 spots, and then the Braves take the last one, and then the Mets win division. Mets or Braves win division. Or you could see one of those West teams getting the second wild card. Dodgers win division, and congratulations, the Phillies are out of the playoffs. Clean house, retool next season. Everybody's old. Bryce Harper ends up in New York next year. Aaron Judge puts his foot on the table, his hands on the table. And
Goes full GM Judge.
GM Judge and brings Bryce Harper, Team USA GM, comes back.
And that's the last type of contract the Yankees want on their books.
Exactly. So.
All right, we're both under on the Phils. We're selling some stock, but I still think they're a playoff team. Luis is a little TBD. Tomorrow is the New York Yankees preview, which should be an interesting one, and then we'll go into the Dodgers and our props and predictions. Opening day is right around the corner, so we're very excited to cover another full season of MLB baseball. MLB baseball, Major League Baseball. That makes no sense. Anyways, catch you guys tomorrow for the New York Yankees.
Get your popcorn ready.
Oh, yeah. Peace.